They're controlling you right now, using principles you don't even know exist. Every conversation you have, every decision you make, every relationship you're in. Dark psychology principles are being used against you, by your boss, by politicians, by marketers, by people who understand how the human mind actually works. While you think you're making free choices, someone who knows these principles is guiding those choices, shaping your behavior, controlling outcomes. And you never even noticed. 500 years ago, Machiavelli understood something most people still don't get. Human behavior follows patterns, predictable patterns, and those patterns can be used to influence, control, and dominate. He studied these patterns, documented them, created principles that work whether you like them or not, whether you believe them or not, whether you approve or not. These principles are the invisible laws governing every human interaction, and today you're learning all 12. This isn't theory, this is how power actually operates, how influence really works, how control is maintained by people who understand these principles while you don't. But once you see these principles, you can't unsee them. You'll recognize them everywhere, in every interaction, every manipulation, every power play. And once you recognize them, you can use them yourself. If you want to understand the dark psychology principles controlling your life and everyone else's, smash that subscribe button right now. This channel reveals how the game is really played. Before we start, drop this in the comments. I see the principles, I use the principles, I control outcomes. Let's begin. Principle 1. Silence creates authority. Talking makes you common. Silence makes you powerful. The person who talks most in any room has the least authority. The person who speaks least has the most. Because silence creates mystery, creates anticipation, makes every word you do speak carry weight. While everyone else fills empty space with worthless words, your silence makes people lean in, pay attention, and assign importance to whatever you eventually say. Most people are terrified of silence. They fill every gap with talking, explaining, justifying, oversharing. This makes them predictable, makes them readable, makes them controllable. But when you're comfortable with silence, when you let conversations breathe, when you don't rush to fill every pause, something powerful happens. People start projecting authority onto you. They assume your silence means you're thinking deeply, observing carefully, judging wisely. Your silence becomes your power. Here's how you use this. In meetings, don't be the first to speak. Let others fill the space. Let them reveal their positions. Let them commit to ideas. Then speak once, with a clear, definitive statement. Your one statement carries more weight than their 10 because you chose your moment. In negotiations, let the other person talk. Let them fill silence with concessions. Let them reveal information. Your silence makes them uncomfortable enough to give away leverage. In conflicts, don't defend immediately. Let silence sit. Let them wonder what you're thinking. Let them fear your response. Then respond once, powerfully, and return to silence. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is strength. Silence is control. Master it, and people will treat you as an authority without you ever claiming authority. Your silence speaks louder than their words. Drop this in the comments. My silence is my authority. Principle 2. Never defend yourself. Defending yourself looks weak. It signals that accusations matter to you, that other people's opinions have power over you, that you need approval. All weakness signals. When you defend, you've already lost. Because defense means you're responding to someone else's frame, playing by their rules, fighting on their territory. Strategic people don't defend. They ignore, redirect, or attack. When someone accuses you of something, your instinct is to explain, to justify, to defend. This is exactly what they want. Your defense validates their accusation as worthy of response, makes it seem legitimate, gives it power. But when you don't defend, when you simply ignore or dismiss accusations, something happens. The accusation loses power, looks weak, makes the accuser look desperate for trying something that didn't even deserve response. Here's how you use this. Someone attacks your work. Don't defend it. Either ignore the attack completely or say something dismissive like interesting perspective and move on. Your non-defense makes their attack look petty. Someone questions your decision. Don't explain your reasoning. Simply state the decision is made and end discussion. Your refusal to defend makes you look confident and them look weak for questioning. Someone spreads rumors about you. Don't address them publicly. Let your actions speak. Let results be your only defense. Actual defense makes rumors seem important enough to address. The only exception is legal situations where defense is required. Outside of that, never defend. Ignore weak attacks. Redirect medium attacks. Counterattack strong attacks. But never, ever defend. Defense is admission that accusations have merit. Silence or dismissal is showing accusations are beneath response. Drop this in the comments. I never defend, I only dominate. Principle 3. Control the first narrative. Whoever tells a story first controls how everyone understands the situation. Second explanations are always fighting uphill against the first impression. First narrative sets the frame, defines the context, establishes the baseline. Everything after is compared to that first story. This is why media rushes to be first, why politicians release statements immediately, why companies issue responses before facts are clear. First narrative is everything. When something happens, don't wait to respond. Don't gather all facts. Don't prepare perfect response. Speak first. Control how people initially understand the situation. Even if your first narrative is incomplete or partly wrong, it sets the frame that all future narratives must fight against. People remember first stories. They judge subsequent stories against that initial frame. Win the first narrative, win the interpretation war. Here's how you use this. Conflict at work happens. Before anyone else can frame it, send your version to key people. Your frame becomes the official interpretation. Others have to fight your narrative. Project goes wrong. Before blame starts, release your version of what happened. Your narrative becomes baseline. Others look defensive, trying to change it. Relationship issue occurs. Before your partner can tell their friends, frame the situation in your terms. Their version comes second, looks reactive. The key is speed. Don't wait for complete information. Don't wait for perfect framing. Speak first with confident narrative. Adjust later if needed. But establish that first interpretation, because first interpretation usually becomes permanent interpretation. Second place in narrative control is first loser. Drop this in the comments. I control first narrative, I win interpretation. Principle 4. Fear builds faster loyalty than love. People who love you might betray you, people who fear you won't. Love is conditional, emotional, changeable. Fear is practical, calculating, stable. You can make someone love you and they can fall out of love. But fear of consequences doesn't fade. Fear creates obedience that love never guarantees. This doesn't mean be cruel. It means make sure people understand there are consequences to betraying you. Make sure they know you can and will make their lives difficult if they cross you. Make sure crossing you is scarier than disappointing you. When people fear the consequences of betrayal more than they desire freedom from you, they stay loyal. Not because they want to, because the alternative is worse. Here's how you use this ethically. Build reputation for never forgiving betrayal. When someone crosses you once, cut them off permanently, publicly if possible. This teaches everyone watching that betraying you has permanent consequences. People fear permanent loss of relationship more than temporary inconvenience of loyalty. In professional settings, make sure people know that crossing you means you'll remember, that you'll block their advancement, that you'll make sure everyone knows they're untrustworthy. Fear of destroyed reputation keeps people loyal. The balance is being worth fearing but also worth pleasing. If they only fear you, they'll leave when they can. If they fear you and benefit from you, they'll stay loyal, because the combination of consequences for leaving and benefits for staying is unbeatable. Fear plus benefit equals loyalty. Love alone equals risk. Drop this in the comments. I build loyalty through consequences, not emotions. Principle 5. Appear moral, never reveal your true intent. Society judges you by appearance, not reality. Look moral and people assume you are moral. Look ruthless and people oppose you even when you're right. The strategic person appears to operate from noble principles while actually operating from self-interest. This way they get what they want while maintaining moral high ground. Everything you do should be framed in moral terms, not because morality matters to your goal, but because moral framing protects you. Want to eliminate a rival? Don't frame it as rivalry, frame it as upholding standards. Want to take power? Don't frame it as ambition, frame it as serving the greater good. Want to eliminate opposition? Don't frame it as silencing critics, frame it as protecting truth. Here's how you use this. Every selfish action gets moral wrapping. Firing someone you don't like? Frame it as performance standards. Taking someone's position? Frame it as better serving the organization. Destroying a competitor? Frame it as protecting customers. The action is self-serving. The framing is moral. People judge the framing, not the action. The key is believing your own framing. If you know you're faking morality, it shows. But if you can genuinely convince yourself that your self-interested actions serve higher purposes, you'll convince everyone else. Human psychology is amazing at justifying what serves us. Use that. Your brain will help you believe you're moral while you're being strategic. Then you project genuine moral conviction while advancing selfish interests. Perfect combination. Never reveal that you're being strategic. Never admit you're being selfish. Always maintain that you're driven by principles, values, and what's right. Let others call you manipulative. You maintain moral high ground regardless. Appearance of morality is worth more than actual morality in terms of social capital. Drop this in the comments. I appear moral while being strategic. Principle 6. Distance increases respect. Familiarity breeds contempt. The more available you are, the less people value you. The more they know about you, the less mysterious you seem. The more time they have with you, the more they take you for granted. Distance is what makes you valuable. Scarcity of your presence makes each appearance matter. Mystery about your life makes people curious. Limited access makes people fight for that access. Most people try to be available, accessible, open. This destroys their value. When you're always there, always sharing, always available, you become furniture. Background, taken for granted. But when you're distant, when access to you is limited, when people don't know everything about you, suddenly you matter. Suddenly your presence is valued. Suddenly people fight for your attention. Here's how you use this. Don't respond immediately to messages. Create time gaps that make your response valued. Don't accept every invitation. Being selective makes the invitations you accept meaningful. Don't share everything about your life. Mystery makes people curious and attentive. Don't always be available for others' needs. Limited availability makes your availability precious. This applies everywhere. At work, don't be the person who's always around. Be the person whose presence is noticed because it's not constant. In relationships, don't be constantly available. Create space that makes time together valued. With friends, don't share everything. Keep some things private so people remain interested. The distance can't be random, it must be strategic. Too much distance and you're forgotten. Right amount of distance and you're valued. Find that balance. Create enough space that your presence matters while maintaining enough presence that you're not forgotten. Drop this in the comments. My distance creates my value. Principle 7. Scarcity creates desire. People want what they can't have. Abundant things have no value. Rare things have infinite value. This isn't logical, it's psychological, and it controls every human desire. Make yourself scarce and people want you more. Make your time scarce and people value it higher. Make your approval scarce and people chase it desperately. This combines with Principle 6, but goes deeper. It's not just about distance, it's about creating perception that you're limited, that access to you is competitive, that not everyone gets what you offer, that having you is privilege, not right. When people believe something is scarce, they want it more regardless of actual value. Here's how you use this. In business, limit supply, even when you could provide more. Only 10 spots available creates desire, even when you could handle 100. In relationships, never be the person who's always free. Always have something else happening that they're competing with for your time. In social situations, don't stay the whole event. Arrive late, leave early. Your limited presence makes you memorable. The scarcity must appear natural, not manipulative. If people think you're artificially limiting access, it backfires. But if they believe you're genuinely in demand, genuinely busy, genuinely selective, the scarcity increases desire. You don't say, "I'm making myself scarce." You just are scarce because you have so many demands on your time. Real or manufactured doesn't matter as long as perception is real. Drop this in the comments. My scarcity creates their desire. Principle 8. People reveal more when you say less. The person talking is giving away information. The person listening is gathering power. Most people can't handle silence. They fill it with talking. And when they talk, they reveal their thoughts, their weaknesses, their intentions, their secrets. Your silence makes them uncomfortable enough to share things they shouldn't. Strategic conversations are 80% listening, 20% talking. You ask short questions. They give long answers. You stay silent. They fill silence with more information. You listen carefully. They keep revealing. By the end, you know everything about them. They know nothing about you. That information asymmetry is power. Here's how you use this. In negotiations, let them talk first. Let them explain their position thoroughly. They'll reveal their real priorities, their limits, their fears. You listen and use that information to dominate the negotiation. In conflicts, let them vent. Let them explain why they're upset. They'll reveal the real issue underneath the surface issue. You address the real issue and win completely. In relationships, listen more than you share. You learn what motivates them, what scares them, what controls them. The key is making silence comfortable for you. Practice sitting in silence without feeling need to fill it. Practice listening without planning your response. Practice asking questions instead of making statements. The more you talk, the more you reveal. The more they talk, the more you learn. Learn equals power. Drop this in the comments. Their talking is my information. Principle 9. Reward selectively to create dependence. If you reward everyone equally, rewards have no value. If you reward everyone constantly, people expect rewards and don't appreciate them. But if you reward selectively, if rewards come unpredictably, if some people get rewards while others don't, suddenly rewards become powerful. People chase them, work for them, compete for them, change behavior hoping to receive them. This is basic behavioral psychology. Random reinforcement creates strongest behavioral change. When people don't know what earns reward but know rewards are possible, they try everything hoping to trigger reward. This makes them controllable. Your selective rewarding shapes their behavior as they attempt to figure out what pleases you. Here's how you use this. Don't praise all good work. Praise some good work randomly. People work harder trying to figure out what earns praise. Don't give attention equally. Give attention selectively and unpredictably. People fight for your attention. Don't help everyone who asks. Help some requests, ignore others. People become careful about asking and grateful when you help. The selectivity must seem based on merit but actually be based on control. You reward behavior that serves you. Ignore behavior that doesn't. Over time, people learn that serving your interests gets rewarded. This shapes everyone's behavior toward helping you while they think they're just trying to earn fair recognition. Drop this in the comments. My selective rewards create their dependence. Principle 10. Public humiliation weakens enemies. Private confrontation might fail. Public humiliation destroys. When you embarrass someone publicly, you damage their reputation permanently. People remember public failures. Public humiliations create permanent marks. Even if the person recovers, that moment lives forever in memories. This makes public humiliation the nuclear option for neutralizing threats. Use this carefully, only against real enemies. Only when you want permanent damage. Because public humiliation creates permanent enmity. They'll never forgive you. Never forget, you've made an enemy for life. But sometimes that's necessary. When someone must be neutralized completely. When their credibility must be destroyed. When their influence must be eliminated. Public humiliation does this permanently. Here's how you use this. When someone challenges you publicly, destroy them publicly. Expose their incompetence in front of everyone. Make them look foolish where it matters most. When someone betrays you, expose that betrayal publicly. Let everyone see what happens to betrayers. When someone needs to be removed from power, publicly humiliate them until their position becomes untenable. The key is having proof. Public humiliation based on lies can backfire. But public humiliation based on undeniable truth is devastating. Document their failures, record their betrayals, gather their mistakes, then deploy publicly when necessary. One public humiliation ends threats that private conversations never could. Drop this in the comments. Public humiliation is my nuclear option. Principle 11. Remove threats completely or not at all. Half measures create more problems than they solve. If someone is a threat, either eliminate that threat completely or don't act at all. Wounding an enemy without killing them creates wounded enemy who's now more dangerous because they know you're hostile and they have nothing to lose. Better to leave threats alone until you can remove them completely. Incomplete removal creates desperate, dangerous enemies. This is why mercy and brutality both work but half measures fail. Full mercy means the threat remains but doesn't know you're hostile. They might never act against you. Full removal means threat is gone permanently, but half removal creates a wounded enemy who will strike back. Worst possible outcome. Here's how you use this. Rival at work threatens you. Either ignore them completely or destroy their position fully. Don't wound them with small attacks. That alerts them to your hostility without eliminating their power. Relationship threatens your peace. Either fully cut them off or fully accept them. Don't maintain hostile half relationship. Enemy in business threatens your success. Either let them be or destroy them completely through legal or market means. Don't engage in small skirmishes. The decision point is simple. Can you completely remove this threat? If yes, do it or don't act at all. If no, leave it alone until you have power for complete removal. Never half remove. Never wound without killing, never alert enemies without defeating them, complete action or no action, nothing in between. Drop this in the comments. Complete victory or complete inaction, never half measures. Principle 12. Power respects outcomes, not intentions. Nobody cares why you failed. Nobody cares that you tried hard. Nobody cares about your good intentions. Power respects results. Deliver results and power recognizes you. Fail with good intentions and power ignores you. The world runs on outcomes, not intentions. Understand this or stay powerless forever. Your father probably taught you that effort matters, that trying your best counts, that good intentions deserve recognition. All lies. Effort without results is wasted energy. Trying without succeeding is failure. Good intentions without outcomes are worthless. Power, money, respect, success all flow to people who deliver results, not to people who try and fail. Here's how you use this. Stop making excuses based on effort or intentions. Either deliver results or admit failure and try differently. Stop defending failures with, but I tried hard, or but I meant well. Those defenses signal weakness. Start focusing exclusively on outcomes. What got done? What changed? What improved? If answers are nothing, you failed. Learn from failure, but don't excuse it with intentions. In every interaction with powerful people, lead with results. Never lead with effort or intentions. I delivered this project 3 days early under budget beats. I worked really hard on this project and tried my best. One shows outcomes. One shows intentions. Power respects outcomes only. Frame everything in terms of results delivered, not effort expended. You now know all 12 dark psychology principles Machiavelli understood. Silence creates authority. Never defend yourself. Control first narrative. Fear builds loyalty. Appear moral while being strategic. Distance increases respect. Scarcity creates desire. People reveal more when you say less. Reward selectively. Public humiliation weakens enemies. Remove threats completely. Power respects outcomes. These principles are being used against you every day. Now you see them. Now you understand them. The question is whether you'll use them yourself or keep being controlled by people who do. These aren't nice principles. They're effective principles. And effective beats nice when nice keeps you powerless. Do 3 things right now. Smash that like button if these 12 principles just explained every power dynamic you've ever experienced. Subscribe for more dark psychology truth. Drop in the comments which principle you're using first. These principles control human behavior. Now they can control your success instead of controlling you. 12 principles, complete understanding, unlimited power. The choice is yours. Drop this final affirmation. I know the principles, I use the principles, I control outcomes.